hope this sounds a little bit better for you. If not, I will, I guess, go back to the drawing board and see what I can do. But for now, let's do a reading. It's been long overdue. And let's see what the energy for today is. We got Pluto in the second house and Leo. So Pluto is all about transformations, cycles, so the ending of cycles or the beginning of cycles, source of power and healing. In the second house, it's all about money, work, and income, and the values, the material possessions, priorities, your habits, work ethic, and early education. So if you're taking any classes or anything like that, that's what it's kind of hinting at. Um, and in Leo, it's talking about outward expressions of self, courage, creative, pleasure, strength, and determination. So you're healing something in the creative area in your life, and you're stepping into a new self, into a new version of yourself that will transform and ideally bring about, um, let's say, like, for instance, like if you're starting a course or taking classes, um, being at the second house, like money, if you're investing in yourself, if you're investing in your job, um, if you're trying to see how to create or generate more income, um, reassessing your habits, what is giving you income, what is not. So, having that in mind, let's continue to the reading. Let's see right now. So, I got this new deck, and I'm excited to use it. So, let's see something you're troubled with right now. So, right now we have the unseen and the comic. Mm. Alright, so that took me a while to find. And so, the comic, the Joker, the clown, the fool. The comic carries a remedy for all that ails this world. Amid the deepest pain and suffering, there is always a potential to lift up out of the darkness through laughter. Through the dismissed by some, though dismissed by some as lowbrow or unsophisticated, this archetype actually has a highly advanced mind. Some may use the word genius, as humor requires one to see the situation from afar rather than to be swept away by the drama. The comic, as humor requires one to see the situation from afar rather than to be swept away by the drama. The comic sees and accepts the messiness of life, using it as the material to be mixed and shaped into a potion to soothe the stressed and serious mind. They literally lighten us up. Thus, within the comic is usually the sage or the magician working healing magic upon any audience who will lend an ear. The comic may be archetype that heals the deep vision of our world, one pun at a time. So, you might be using comedy to heal yourself. And this is also showing me a little bit of like the Pisces, um, or like chromosomes. So there might be some stuff in your life, in your line, in your ancestral line that um, kind of made you into that archetype, if you know what I mean. All right, so let's see the unseen. The unseen is just as it sounds. We cannot see it, yet it sees us. Watching and waiting with wisdom, both kind and instructive. We feel this presence, sense it, intuit it, and then doubt its existence. Though it rallies our attention time and time again, the energy of the unseen may come in many forms: a compelling dream, a sudden insight, a clear voice, a vision, or a message from a loved one who has passed on to the other side. It is natural to fear these communications as they challenge our perception of what is real. When this card appears, your guides are near. The eternal is present. The doorway between worlds is ajar. Listen, the sounds may seem as though they come from a distant land, but they call from your innermost chambers. All right, let's pick one more. The end. So that's kind of clear about the Pluto, the cycles, the transformations that are going on. Oh, the dead end. I just said the end. That's so funny. Maybe you did just have a very harsh ending. You didn't even know there was a sign saying, when you're driving down the road and then you see like dead end and you know not to make that turn. Maybe there was an ending that just happened that was very abrupt and you didn't see it coming. The unseen. Contrary to what its name implies, the dead end is very much alive. It is a force that stops us from moving forward as planned. It is thick, dense, uncompromising, a wall beyond all walls, with every bramble, thorn, and stone. It simply states, "No more, child. You have reached the last page of this chapter." It is natural to resist its very resistance and struggle even hard to make our way, to prove our point, to hold on to what was. It is in this way we fight with life itself. From a mythic perspective, the end you face is very much a beginning. There are doors opening all around you. You just not the one you planned on walking through. If you are honest and courageous enough to accept, adjust, and adapt, the dead end becomes known as life's beginning. That's really beautiful. So we're going to leave this up here. That was really nice. All right, so let's see what's something that's troubling you during this change that you're undergoing, you're facing. Okay, so we got 2. We got Ace of Pentacles, so that's all about, we got Ace of Pentacles and the Knight of Cups. So the Ace of Pentacles, it's the beginning of, like the Pentacles is income. So working with the second house, like it might be your daily routines, like possessions, like your priorities, your job, like you might be prioritizing yourself now, or like how to bring about these new changes into your life. So this is Taurus energy as well, so it's a very grounded energy that you need to be stable. It's a very stable frequency to be in. And the Knight of Cups is all about new offers, suggestions, social opportunities, new lover perhaps, or like in this case, if it's work oriented, a new job opportunity. So let's see what else is something that you're troubled with. What is something the viewer is troubled with at the moment? What else? Alright, and this one. Alright, so we got 9 of Swords, reverse. Alright, so there might be some delays. So this is some troubles, huh? So right now what I'm getting is that perhaps you're failing to see where you could take the new steps, right? So if this is your challenge, it would be, like you might feel stagnant in your income, or where is this new income, new opportunity gonna come from? And there might be lack, you might be inconsistent with yourself, with your belief. So that might be like, you might be rocky, you might be like a rocky boat. Like in this case, it's a so if you're feeling stressed, I could see where that also stops you from moving forward. But let's see. So, Nine of Wands, it could just mean like you're guarded up, you're very territorial, you're very, I guess, like the wounded, you know, like you feel you could be very wounded um, due to whatever just ended in your life. And it shifted your attitude. So, the unseen, the support that you have around you, you might feel unprotected, and you might see anything or anyone that comes around you, even in business partnerships, or if this is like personal matters as well, you might see it as anyone's trying to trick you. So you might not be super open to trusting. And in that, it might be also closing the doors to trust in the divine guidance, the intuition, your guides. But, all right, so let's see what would be a different perspective. What would be a different perspective? So, the heartbreak. You know, this is like a heartbreak, pain. Three of Swords is lost love, a lost relationship, alienation, upheaval, dissonance with oneself. But you're also in the process of recovering, optimism. So you're dabbling between the two. Um, let's use this for the different perspective. All right. Let's see. What is a different perspective that will help the viewer, the collective right now? All right. So know that you're waterproofed, meaning you're protected. The unseen is all around you, and the things that had to end, you have to trust it, that is for a higher purpose in your life and in the life of the others. In this case, there's little to know about why or what happened. There's so many possibilities, but if it was wounding you, it also was wounding others, in my opinion. So a different perspective would be the growth, to choose to grow from this experience, or ask the right questions about what can I learn from this? How will this help me grow? Or how is this helping me grow? Because it already happened for a reason. If you haven't jumped to that decision of like leaving like the dead end, of taking a new turn, or ending a cycle to start a new one, and think about how much you're going to grow after taking those steps. And don't believe the trickery your mind would try to tell you, if that makes sense. Communication and fear. So there might be some fear to communicate. You might be called to communicate what you went through. And in this case, if it was a betrayal, if it was something like a heartbreak, in a relationship or in your job or in any circumstance that you went through, it's asking you to communicate. And there are many ways to communicate. It could be through expressing, in writing, through art. And in this case, it was a very creative. It could be comedy, like that. If that's like one of your archetypes and that resonates with you, you could try it out. Writing things, poetry, stand-up comedy. You can, like work with the solar plexus, which it would be like your confidence, and that would be like the Leo energy, having the strength to put yourself out there and leave the fear aside, because at first something may seem scary, right? Because it's not known to you. In this case, like the crow was scared of the scarecrows, but then after that it's just like, oh, I don't fear it anymore, and clearly they hang out and it doesn't scare the crows anymore. So there's a few things to, I guess, keep on mind with that. But the new perspective, I feel like, is why does this scare you? Asking yourself the right questions of why is this new step scary? Um, I will share something I read today, or I heard someone say today, that it's like sometimes the new, like sometimes people don't take risks in the direction that they want. Like, let's say you need to make A, B, and C type of decisions and movements in order to be happy, changes to be happy. And the reason why most people don't is because the fear outweighs their ability to the potential happiness. So like just imagining how happy you could be, fear outweighs that. So people just stay stuck where they are and inevitably saying no to the growth that they could have gotten. And that in itself is kind of like not trusting your guides, not trusting the unseen forces that are like right there guiding you. And sometimes it's just like something is a heartbreak because it's showing you an attachment, it's showing you something in yourself that you allowed, or it's showing you something in yourself that like you put yourself through, but you knew you didn't like you didn't listen to yourself, to the unseen, something that's like with you all the time. So let's ask, what actions should you take? Let's see with this deck. Oh, let's see with this one. All right, so we're gonna use the thread of, I don't know this deck. Oops. Yeah, no. Alright. This says, what action should you take? So, compassion came out. I think there's two. Yes. Surrender and compassion came out. That is very telling to, sometimes, like, when we feel a heartbreak, we tend to be mean, because we're guarded up. So we feel like we have to fight everybody, and including ourselves. We feel ashamed, or we guilt other people, we blame other people, we feel guilty maybe with ourselves. And so there has to be some compassionate communication or compassion towards yourself. And you have to surrender to the changes that, and to the guidance. So you have to surrender that, that was the best that you knew at the time. And what I like to say now is that, like, when you know better, you do better. And at the end of the day, like, you didn't know better. Like, whatever you went through, like, you kind of like gave it the benefit of the doubt. If it was like an external situation, an external party, something that you couldn't control, it's also asking for compassion to that. Like, they also, everybody, it's almost like when they say hurt people hurt people. And it's like they're, everybody kind of like in a way acts as they were taught, directly or indirectly in their life. So it's having compassion about that, and it's not pity, it's compassion. It's like a forgiving, like you forgive, you feel for them. And it doesn't require any confrontation, even though confrontation, if it's required, I guess, like, the communication to that person, if you'll feel better, if you'll be healing, I feel like it should be suggested. And just know that you're protected, like waterproof, like anything that happens will not um, like affect you anymore. Or yeah, like, just move with that confidence. Just ask your guides, just ask Archangel Michael for protection, and you'll be really fine. So right now I'm seeing Six of Wands, which is the victory, and this is what the outcome will be. That was at the bottom of the deck. And the King of Discs is at the top. And let's see. What is the outcome? Ooh. All right. So we got a few. So trust, Queen of Cups, the way. We got 2 that fell. Oh no, 3 that fell. All right. So we got the light, Wheel of Flow, which is like the Wheel of Fortune, 7 of Wands, the Hierophant, and the Prince of Cups. So the outcome seems bright. It seems like the masculine energy in you would be activated, you know, with the King of Discs. It's a steady energy, and the 6 of Wands is showing success and victory in whatever endeavor you take. But you will have to apply the courage. Like if you have the courage to pursue what you need, what you want to do. In this case, is the Prince of Cups. Is a water energy. It's like the yeah, like expressing, the communicating what it is that you want to the world. Um, it's kind of showing the Hierophant. It's like a teacher, a marriage, like your spirituality, your beliefs. So like, if you choose to listen to yourself, in this case, to express yourself, to teach. Um, we also got the Queen of Cups, which is an emotional. So expressing your emotions will help you thoroughly, and maybe teaching others how to go about it, maybe teaching others how you dealt with the situation that you went through, and the way will kind of like make way for new. Like if you close the door to the old and then make way in this new journey, the light within you is ideally the one thing that's guiding you, or the light that you see like in the world. Like it's all around you. Like the beauty that you don't see, you might be actually able to see it now after the dead end that you thought there was. And seeing it with the comic, like finding the laughter through the pain and through all of the things that hurt you, you might actually create yourself such a good fortune, because ideally you're turning everything into a growth. And that's, I think I heard something recently that like there's no money, like money can't buy experience, life experience. And yeah, I feel like this is a beautiful message for whoever resonated with it. And let me know what you think. And thank you so much for tuning in. Bye bye. Here's the heart.